guys, welcome back. So I've got my Friday favorites and Fooeys for you today, and I've really been loving some things this week, but not a ton of things. It was just one of those weeks where I kept going back to the same few items, because some weeks I'll bounce around a lot. Like, I might really be into blushes that week and I'll try a bunch of different blushes, or lipsticks, I'll bounce around to a bunch of different looks, or eyeshadows, whatever. But this week I kept going back to the same things and just trying different looks with those things. So yeah, but I've really been enjoying them. So I definitely want to share them with you. Don't have any Fooeys this week, so that's good. All things I've just really been enjoying. So yeah, let's jump in. Okay, I don't have a nail polish favorite this week because I didn't have time to put on nail polish. It was just one of those weeks, busy, running from one thing to the next, so nail polish had to go. Didn't have time for it. But I did love some blushes. The first blush that I really loved this week, this is e.l.f.'s Cabo Cabana. This is one of their mineral blushes, and I think this is like regularly $5, and I got it during a 50% off sale, so I think it was around $2.50. So really inexpensive and really good. This is a nice kind of like nudie sort of coral. It's very kind of natural, but it's also very pigmented, so you want to be careful with it. You can't just like go to town with your brush on your face because it's got a lot of pigmentation. But it's a beautiful color and just looks really nice. I'm wearing it today and it blends well. Like I said, it's pigmented, wears well. I really like these. Like, I think they have them in not very many colors. I think like 4 or 5, and I have 2 of them. So this is actually the only one I think I've worn. The other one is Sweet Retreat, I think, something Retreat, and I haven't worn that one. The other blush that I've been loving this week that is new to my collection, this is Hard Candy's Honeymoon. And I'd heard everybody talk about it, like my friend Lori, she talked about it. I'll link her channel down below, Lori Jolliker. I think I'm pronouncing that right. She's told me and I always forget. But this is a gorgeous blush. She mentioned it a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago, but maybe a month or 2 ago. And it's been on my list, and I finally just got it. Because a lot of times my Walmart is like totally picked over and gross looking in the hard candy section. But this week they were like fully stocked. Like they had gotten a whole shipment or whatever and just restocked the whole area. So I got it. And it is gorgeous. It's a very glowy, beautiful color. If you don't like glowy blushes, if kind of a sheen on your cheeks bothers you, you will not like this, because this is like a highlighting blush, because it's, you can see, it's very metallic, but it is so pretty. It's kind of a, it's right in between a pink and a peach. So I think it's just so pretty for the spring. It looks gorgeous in the pan and gorgeous on the face. I am wearing it, I'm actually wearing both of these together, so you can see what they look like together. So what I did is I applied this one kind of more, I'm using this as my pointer, applied this one kind of like here, so it's sort of like a little bit higher than my regular blush because it's serving as my highlighter too. And then I take a little bit of this and more apply it to kind of the apples of my cheeks and a little bit up. So kind of right in this region. Do you like my pointers, my blush pointers there? But I just really like those together. It kind of reminds me of Melba and Stereo Rose. Like, they're not the same colors, but that same kind of idea. I just feel like they pair so well together because this one is just nice and natural and beautiful, and then this one adds that kind of glowy springtime look. I just love these together. But I love this by itself too. I did wear this by itself a couple of days this week. Now, if you're darker complected than me, then I don't know how much this is going to show up on you. It's probably going to be more like a highlight because it's pretty light, but because I think the glowiness is going to come out more than the pigmentation, if that makes sense. So I would just kind of, regardless, I think it's going to be pretty on people. It's just going to be, what does it kind of serve as? Is it more of a highlighter or is it more of a highlighting blush? But either way, it's beautiful. Okay, for eye favorites this week, my first favorite, oh my goodness, look at this. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love eyeshadow palettes. You guys know this if you watch my channel. I love eyeshadow palettes, but I especially love eyeshadow palettes that are cute. that have really cute packaging. And this one definitely does. Oh my goodness, it's adorable. This is the Urban Decay Electric Palette. It just came out recently, and I think it's now available in Sephora and Ulta, which that's even better, so it's easy to get, much more accessible. So this is what it looks like, and oh my gosh, it's so funny. I even like look in the viewfinder and it makes me happy because it's so bright and beautiful. The packaging is adorable, the palette's adorable, and then the colors inside are just amazing. Now there is, in my video where I will go over, I haven't filmed it yet, but when I go over kind of swatches and the colors and everything, you've probably heard this if you've seen other videos on it. There are a few shades in here that are not approved to use on your immediate eye area. And one of these is this purple shade, which I'm wearing on my lower lash line today. And I'm not advising anybody else to do that, you know, make your own decision, but it hasn't been bothering me, and it's gorgeously pigmented. And the thing with this, I've worn this several times this week, and you can make this palette wearable. The key to bright, crazy colors and making them more wearable is just bringing in neutrals. So I've been bringing in another palette I'm about to talk about and some others. Just really bringing in neutrals to blend it out, make the colors, you know, darker or just a little bit more wearable where you're wearing just a little pop of color. It's either on your lower lash line or right in the center of your lid or something. So this week I wore the pink, I wore the purple one, the pink one is Savage, I wore Urban, I wore Jilted, and I wore the silver one, which is Revolt. So yeah, I've worn, oh, and actually I did a green eye look too. So actually I've worn almost all of this palette. And the teal I wore, which is, the greens are Freak and Thrash, and the teal is Fringe. So yeah, I've obviously gotten a lot of use out of this palette. And most of the looks I've worn to work, so you can still make it wearable. And like I said, you know, I've got the purple on my lower lash line right now, and I think it still works. So let me swatch some of these for you. These are crazy pigmented, but they still, like, they're easy to work with, like they blend really well. And like I said, about 75 times, you can make them wearable. I want to do some looks with this palette. Like I said, I want to do the review and swatches, but then I also, I mean, that's going to stain my fingers, but I also want to do some looks with it. And I want to do like one crazy one, like a really wild and crazy look, maybe one or two like that. And then I want to do some looks where it's making these types of shades, you know, more appropriate for your everyday life. You know, for most of us that don't work in the makeup industry, which would be amazing, and don't really have the flexibility to wear wild and crazy makeup all the time, I want to do some looks that will show how you can still have some fun with your makeup with these kind of shades, but still get away with going into work. But yeah, I'm going to take these off of my fingers because they are going to stain. Like, the pink one's already starting to stain my finger. See? Yeah, if you want like crazy pigmentation and you're looking for some crazy, wild, beautiful colors, this palette is awesome. It's gorgeous. So again, the Urban Decay Electric Palette, loving it. And I definitely want to do more videos with this, so keep an eye out for those. And then I pulled out an old favorite of mine this week, my Too Faced Pretty Rebel palette. If you've watched my channel for a long time, you've probably heard me talk about this a lot. At least I talked about it a lot in the late summer, fall, or when, I don't even remember when it came out, but when it first came out, I talked about it a lot on my channel. I love this palette. I feel like Too Faced is kind of hit and miss with their palettes, but the ones that are hits are like knock it out of the park hits. And this is one of them, in my opinion. And also the Chocolate Bar palette is also amazing. So this week, actually today, I'm wearing the Ringleader, kind of, it's kind of a champagne-y sort of a shade. I'm wearing Dainty as my brow bone. I'm wearing Charming in my outer corner. I'm wearing Totally Fetch, kind of in my crease area. And then I also wore, you know, the brown, the gold, the green, and actually the silver one day. So I've worn almost all this palette at some point this week. And let me swatch some of these for you. They're amazing. They blend beautifully. They wear really well on the eyes. The packaging of this palette is adorable. I think it's a total win. And the reason I'm mentioning it, it was limited edition, but last time I was on Sephora, they still had it in stock. So hopefully it's still there and you can still get it because it's such a cute palette. If you've been eyeing it, I'm like really surprised that, hopefully it's still on there, but last time I checked, I was really surprised it was still there. So if you can get it, I would say get it because it's one of my very favorite palettes. That one and the Chocolate Bar palette, I just love both of those. And like I said, the pigmentation, so good. The blending is easy. It wears really well. It's just a great palette. I love it. And then I've also been grabbing my L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadow in Iced Latte. This is one of my very favorite pigment type products that I have, because this is really almost like, it's not even fully a pressed pigment, but it's kind of in between. These are so good. If you haven't tried the Infallibles, they're amazing. They are some of my very favorite eyeshadows, not only at the drugstore, but anywhere. I just think they're awesome. I don't grab for them often enough because they're kind of high maintenance. Like, it's not like a palette that you can take out and you have most everything you need to create a whole eye look right in that one palette. It's, you have to get out like 4 or 5 different little pots to make your eye look, you know? So on the day-to-day, they're just not as practical for me, but I just love them. This one is beautiful. What I do with this normally, I've worn it all over my lid and just done a really bright, makes your eyes look so bright and glowy and beautiful. So I've worn it like that, but this week I've mainly been wearing it like I am today, where it's kind of on my inner half of my lid and then a little bit on my inner corner. Oh my gosh. It is so like metallic and reflective and beautiful. I love it. Oh, it's so good. So if you've been wanting to try these, I would say Iced Latte is a great one for you to try, because I think you're going to get a lot of use out of it. And for just a little pop of brightness to your eye look, it's not that high maintenance. It's just one little extra step that I think really makes your eye look a lot more fun and a lot more open and bright, and especially for spring, you look youthful, you look awake. I just love these. I love these, all of them, but I especially really enjoy this one, so I would say give this a shot. And then for lips this week, I went back to an Old Faithful, and you can tell it's an Old Faithful by the little nub that's left. I've used so much of this. This is MAC's Angel, just a total cult classic. Everybody talks about it. It's definitely a fan favorite, I would say. It is a frost, but I still feel like it's, you know, it's not like ridiculously shiny and hard to wear or anything like that. It's a nice kind of nudie pink, and it's just an easy lipstick. It goes with so many different eye looks. It's a no-brainer that if you have an eye look, that's why I've been grabbing for it this week, because it's been a crazy busy week and I'm having to rush out in the mornings. So it's just one of those lipsticks that no matter what I do with my eyes, I can grab it, it's gonna go. So if you haven't tried MAC's Angel, it's kind of similar to Cream Cup. It's actually very similar, I think. But like I said, this one's a frost. I think Cream Cup is a cream sheen, I believe. But I don't even need to talk about the formula of MAC lipsticks, because you guys know they're amazing, they smell delicious, they're comfortable to wear, they last well on the lips, they feel good on the lips, and this color is just beautiful. It's one of my very favorites. Okay guys, so those are all my Friday favorites and Fooeys for this week. I hope that you really enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you like my Friday favorites. And as always, I want to know what kind of things you have been loving this week. Do you own the Urban Decay Electric Palette? Have you jumped on that bandwagon like I did? Do you own the Pretty Rebel palette or any of these other things? I would love to hear your thoughts on them, or just hear what other kind of things you've been loving. Let me know that. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in the next video.